It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Maine Mariners head coach, Coach Terrence Wallin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Brandon.
Thank you. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in professional hockey?
Yeah, I think it goes back to kind of when I was young. I think video games were a big piece to why I wanted to coach. I was always trying to figure out ways to go through a franchise mode and make a team become a championship team. And I think that kind of just rode with me. I've always tried to get the most out of groups that I've been a part of. And it really started probably my second to last year when I got traded to Maine and played my final 2 years there. But I had a really good relationship with our head coach at the time, Riley Armstrong and Danny Briere. And those are probably the two guys that really made it clear for me that I wanted to get into coaching after I stopped playing.
Of course, what was that collegiate experience like going to college playing hockey for UMass?
It was great. It was 4 years that I'll never forget. We won a lot of games. Um, we won two hockey's titles. We won a hockey's regular season title and got to a Frozen Four. So that was phenomenal. We ended up losing to Yale, who ended up winning the national title that year. So that one stings a bit, but I love my 4 years at Lowell.
As a player, what was that experience like going to the Frozen Four and competing for the national championship in men's ice hockey?
It was a pretty special experience. My year was out in Pittsburgh, and we felt that we had the best team headed into the Frozen Four, and we kind of ran into a buzzsaw in Yale. They got hot at the right time. They ended up being the final team to get into the NCAA tournament that year, and they were firing on all cylinders, and we're just playing the right brand of hockey. And they caught us sleeping a little bit early, and then ended up beating us in overtime. And but it was a great experience. It was unlike anything I've ever been a part of.
What was that experience like for you to get to put on that hockey uniform to represent UMass?
It was. I grew up wanting to play hockey east. I grew up going to the Beanpot in Boston, watching those tournaments and stuff. I grew up in Philadelphia, so there's not a ton of college hockey down there. So we kind of had to go north a little bit to get that fix. But I always wanted to play in the Beanpot, and if that couldn't happen for me, I wanted to play in hockey. So UMass Lowell kind of wowed me a little bit. I love the rink there. I mean, they've had renovations since, and the rink's phenomenal. And getting the chance to play in hockey for a good team is a pretty special thing.
What was that feeling like getting to put on that uniform for them?
It was great. Obviously, you grow up going through different things, but wearing that jersey is pretty special. And even now, I kind of go to like charity golf things and alumni golf things, and it's still pretty special to see guys wearing that logo with pride. And I still have pride when I wear the logo.
Coming out of college, what was that preparation like getting to play professional hockey and first starting off with the Raptor City?
Um, for me, it was a lot of it was getting my confidence back from a personal standpoint. I My last couple of years at UMass Lowell, I didn't play as much as I probably would have liked. So getting into the pro hockey side of things, I kind of just, and not in a selfish way, I kind of wanted to worry a little bit more about myself and my game and just focus on doing all the right things to become a good pro. So for me, that was losing a little bit of weight that I had in college, and just going from there. I just wanted to remain positive, and I kind of went with the flow for a little bit, and stuff happened that you kind of grow through adversity a little bit, stuff like that. And that first year was challenging, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
How was your experience like going to Bingham's and getting to play for them?
Yeah, getting to play in the AHL was great. In Binghamton, kind of a smaller market. Having started in the SPHL, I never really thought that I would play in the AHL. So getting that call up, I remember it was New Year's Day when I got the call up. So it was a pretty special day. My girlfriend at the time was there, my now wife, and a couple buddies were there. So it was pretty special to get that call on New Year's Day to get that first call up.
Of course, what was your experience like getting to play in the AHL versus the ECHL?
Yeah, the AHL is a little faster, a little crisper. The puck movement is a little sharper. And it's the same way today. And now that I'm coaching guys in the ECHL, and when they want to get to the AHL, it's kind of the stuff that I tell them to worry about is it's a little faster. So like make sure your practice habits are good. But for me, it was just an honor to go up and play in the AHL. I knew I had a role to play up there, and it was not to score. It was to play simple hockey and do that kind of third, fourth line role, which I embraced. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, it's a lot faster, but the guys are smarter. There's a little more skill.
Of course, during your playing career in hockey, what was it like also coming out with a camp and being an owner of a camp?
So that started, I think my when I got up here to Maine, it started right after my first season with the Mariners. And I just wanted to kind of give back to the hockey community. I felt like Maine was going to start to become a part of me and my family's life, and we really love it up here. So I wanted to start a hockey camp and give back, and it's kind of blossomed into something pretty special up here. This is the logo right here, Evolution Hockey, and I started with a youth program as well. We have the Maine Evolution, so it's turned into something pretty special, and I take a lot of pride in that organization. So 6 years ago, I'm pretty glad that I started it.
What was that experience like getting to play for the Maine Marliners and getting to represent them?
Uh, I asked for a trade here for a reason. I love the city of Portland and the state of Maine, and it was cool coming into a new franchise because there was a lot of unknowns, and it was exciting to be a part of the beginning of the Maine Mariners and getting to play 2 years here. Obviously, we didn't make the playoffs year one. We would have made the playoffs year two had it not been for COVID. So it was unfortunate that COVID shut us down, but it was great to put that jersey on and kind of be the part of something new.
Of course, what was that like getting to be a part of something new and getting to represent a new team and represent the jersey?
Yeah, again, I love the city of Portland. It was nice to it has been nice to see our fan base grow throughout the years, and um, wearing that jersey will always kind of hold a special place in my heart because it's where I finished my career. It's the jersey that I was wearing when I got married. It's the jersey that I'm working for when my first son was born. So I have a lot of love for the Maine Mariners right now.
Of course, how was that transition like from going from being a player of the Maine Mariners to now being a head coach?
It was it wasn't as challenging or daunting because I knew the organization inside and out. I felt like I knew the inner workings. I knew the background stuff that needed to happen to make this city and this team successful. So I felt like I had a little bit of a step ahead in that regard. And the coaching side of things, obviously, it's very different. You get your fix kind of during practice on the ice, and but your job kind of starts when practice is over or games are over. Then you kind of start to dissect video and do all the background stuff that a coach does. So that was a little bit of a change for me. And but I absolutely love it. I love teaching the game, obviously, because I started a camp. I enjoy that side of things. So it was it was really special not only to get a coaching job, such a good coaching job right out of playing, but to do it with a team that you played 2 seasons for meant a lot.
What was your experience like as an assistant coach for the Marliners?
My experience with as an assistant under Ben Guite, who's now at Bowdoin, Division 3 head, was awesome. It was a big learning experience for me. Obviously, it was my first year coaching. I had the COVID year to kind of prepare and learn how to do video and learn how to approach players and different things like that. But Ben taught me so much from an on-ice standpoint, and how to attack a locker room, and how to ensure that guys trust you and you're loyal. And I learned a lot from Ben, and I learned a lot from the players that year. It was a fun group to be a part of, and we snuck into the playoffs on the last weekend, so it made it that much more fun.
Of course, in 2022, what was that feeling like getting announced to become the next head coach for them?
It was special. I think it happened a little quicker than I anticipated. Um, I remember going to the NHL draft in Montreal, and Ben kind of was starting to throw these feelers out there, like how would I feel being the head coach? And I was ecstatic at the opportunity, but I didn't know that he was going anywhere. And then we were driving back from the draft, and he told me that he took the new job with Bowden, and that landed me as interim head coach. And I have a good relationship with the people within the organization that I felt like I had a step ahead of people, but I wasn't sure. So they interviewed people and went through the process, and I was just chugging along, working as if I was the head coach. And then I finally got the job, and I was ecstatic. Again, I played 2 years here. I was the assistant. I've been a part of pretty much everything in this organization's history. So it was an honor to get that head coaching title.
Of course, once announced as head coach, what was that feeling like getting announced as the head coach and getting started with the program?
There was a lot to do. You need to, as a head coach, you need to oversee a lot more things, and I needed to call a lot of different people. I needed to hire an assistant coach. I needed to finalize my roster. So that was a fun couple months to get my feet wet and get prepared for the season. And I loved getting named head coach. It was an honor, especially this early in my coaching career. I don't think many people expect 2 years in to become the head coach. So I feel very fortunate that things fell that way.
How was that feeling like the first time you got to step onto the ice for the first time as a head coach?
It was I remember the first day of camp, I was extremely nervous, and my voice was a little trembly in front of the guys. I hadn't done that before, obviously. So but the first time walking on the ice, across the ice to the bench with my now assistant coach Johnny McKinnis, who I played with, it was a great feeling. The crowd was phenomenal. I think I had a lot of support from our fan base, so that made it that much more special. And it was kind of that start to a new journey for me.
As a head coach, what was that like? Obviously, getting started and coaching those teammates that like Patrick Shea, who you played against.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 guys when I was an assistant that transferred over after the COVID year that I played with, that I was now coaching. And this year going in, we still have a couple guys that I played with that I'll coach. And I think it's just a matter of respect. I would like to think that they trust and know that I have their best in their best in my mind, and I want them to do the best that they possibly can and get called up to the AHL and make a mark there and become better hockey players and better people. And it's I never really had the awkward phase where guys didn't respect me as a assistant coach or a head coach because I'm young. But yeah, I just enjoy being a personable coach, and I think that's something now that you need to be a guy that somebody can come and talk to and be an extension of the locker.
What have been some of your coaching accomplishments throughout your head coaching experience?
Well, it's only been 1 year, but last year was a fun year. It was again a learning experience. It was completely foreign to me, but we ended up winning 42 games, which was a franchise high. And unfortunately, we lost in round 1 of the playoffs. But it was a hard fought year. The guys didn't quit all season. They didn't quit all playoff series. So I like to take a lot of pride, and hopefully we can ride that wave into this upcoming season and make a little longer playoff run and have some more playoff success.
Now, as a head coach, what has it been like, obviously, getting to coach against some of those teams that you as a player played?
It's funny. It's I played against Adirondack. I played in Adirondack for parts of 3 seasons, and now they're in the division with the Maine Mariners. So playing them always kind of strikes a little bit. There's a little bit of that old loyalty I love playing in Adirondack, so it's hard to face them, but obviously they're a little bit of the enemy now. So they're probably the one team that when I played in the league, they're the team that I kind of circle on the calendar as an exciting game.
Who are some of the teams in the league that you coach against?
In our division, well, our schedule this year, we play against Adirondack, Worcester, Newfoundland, Trois-Rivières, Norfolk, Reading, and then out of division, we play against Tulsa, Oklahoma, and then Kansas City, Cincinnati, Toledo, and Kalamazoo. So we actually have a quite a big differentiation in our schedule this year, which is fun. It's fun to play different teams each season.
What is that home game atmosphere like when teams like Kansas City comes to the Marliners to play in your arena?
I think it's become a great road city for teams to come play. I think teams are starting to realize that Portland is a great town. It's a great hockey town. It's a great food town. And it's a perfect spot for teams to come and maybe have a team party or a group gathering or go out and have a couple drinks and have a nice dinner. And I think teams really enjoy playing here, but when they get on the ice, we've grown to have a very good fan base, and we're averaging 4,500 fans a night, and the place feels packed and it gets pretty loud. So I think it's become not just a fun place to visit, but it's become a fun place to play for road teams.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing your players get to represent and put on that same jersey that you put on as a Marliner?
I love it. They call it a pride. I take a lot of now grown as a culture. When I think there was a lot of unknown, but now I think it's become a spot where guys truly want to come here and choose to come play here.
As a head coach, what do you see in those prospective college athletes that are looking to play professional hockey?
Well, I was there. I know how it feels for these guys. They're probably chasing AHL deals first, and then if they don't get that, they'll come down and look for ECHL deals. And you need to have good connections and network yourself to college coaches and do your research on all of these players and watch them and know how they're performing and all that and see where they fit in your lineup or where they fit in your organization. So that's kind of the fun part too, is the scouting and the recruiting side of things. And I know how it feels though. It can be stressful coming down to the end of your college career, not knowing what you're going to do. But if you're lucky enough to get a professional contract, you should consider yourself very fortunate and take advantage of it.
What does a day in the life look like for you on a home game?
Day in the life of a home game, probably get to the arena just before 7 o'clock, do video, have my coffee, kind of ease my way into things. Guys probably start to arrive at the rink around 8:30, 9 o'clock. We'll hop on the ice for a morning skate, get 10, 15 minutes, get a good sweat, make sure we're sharp, do a little video after the skate, make sure they're prepared for the opponent that night. And then we kind of go our separate ways for a couple hours. This past season, I lived 5-minute walk from the arena, so I could walk home. But this year we moved out, and we're a little further drive. So I'll probably stay at the rink a little longer now and do some video. Probably get a workout in, and the guys get back around 4:30, 5 o'clock. We have our meetings around 5:10, 5:15. Make sure the guys are prepared and get them ready to go mentally and physically, and then puck drop at 7, and then after the game stick around, do a little post-game analysis and wrap things up and get home around midnight and back at it at 6 in the morning.
As a head coach, what is it like seeing those players getting to put on that jersey for the first time in their professional hockey career?
I have a soft spot for guys who start in the SPHL because I did it. I like giving guys the chance to get called up and prove themselves because I've been there, and I think that's why we're here as a league. We're a development league. So seeing guys play their first ECHL game in a Mariners jersey is pretty special, and I'm always excited to give guys that opportunity.
What is that like seeing them get that first career win or that first career moment in their highlight career?
Yeah, seeing guys score his first goal, you always see the smile and their celebration. And then from a goalie perspective, I remember being part of Francois Brassard's first win and just the smile on his face and the excitement in the locker room for guys. Anytime a guy can get a first, whether it's a first goal, assist, first hat trick, first win, it's always an exciting moment in the locker room. And the guys it's something to cheer about during a long season as well.
What are some of your future plans for the Maine Mariners as head coach?
Well, behind the scenes, we have some stuff. We're getting a lot of new gym equipment, so we look to upgrade something each season, and some new quotes on the board for the upcoming year. And obviously, you want to win the Kelly Cup, and you want to make that playoff push and bring the city a title. But at the same time, as much as we want to win, we want to see guys develop and become better players and people, and go to the AHL and beyond, and sign good European deals and achieve their goals in different ways. So we like to consider ourselves win first, but we want to be a stepping stone for these guys too.
What advice would you give those college hockey players looking to play professional hockey?
That's a good one. Just go through the process and enjoy it. Honestly, continue to work and continue to enjoy it, because if you're not having fun, that's when it starts to become tedious and start to feel like a job.
What advice would you give those rookies that are entering their first year of professional hockey in the ECHL?
Same thing. They call it the ever-changing hockey league for a reason. Stuff's going to change. There's going to be a lot of moving parts, and your ability to be comfortable being uncomfortable is probably one of the most important things you can learn in this league.
What advice would you give professional hockey players such as yourself that was transitioning from being a player to now a coach?
First, you need to love the game a lot. You need to be a student of the game. You need to understand the game. I think a big portion of it is your attention to detail and being willing to put a lot of work in and time in to the little tedious things like video and game planning and different stuff like that. So focusing on your attention to detail as a coach is important.
What advice would you give those people such as yourself that are looking to coach at their team that they played for?
Network, talk with people within your organization, have good relationships with your president, your vice president, your marketing staff, your head coach, your assistant coach. If you can work on your relationships, I think that's a big piece to staying in the organization.
What advice would you give those future professional hockey coaches looking to become head coaches of a professional hockey team?
Just continue to grind away. It's a lot of work. It's different than playing. Just make sure that you want to be in it and really just enjoy it. You get to go to the rink and coach hockey every single day.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the team at?
I am on Twitter. I think it's at TWallin10. And then on Instagram, I'm at TMWallin. That's really all I'm on. And then I have Evolution Hockey Camps, which is some teaching stuff and all my camp stuff. So I'm not too active on social media, but I do like to keep updates and continue to learn.
Of course, where can my listeners find the Maine Mariners at on social media?
They're on everything at Mariners of Maine, on all these things. So easy to find.
Thank you again, Terrence Wallin, for your interview, and best of luck in your future as the head coach for the Maine Mariners.
Awesome. Thanks, Brandon. Have a good one.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Terrence Wallin, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Have a good one.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.